Hey GQ, this is Rico Verhoeven, and this is the breakdown. The Matrix. Two, three kicks, like out of one move. I wanted to stop it because I was thinking like, that's so unrealistic, but I right away thought back to my dad. My dad did Kyokushin karate, so like that's the full contact version of karate, and he did that. He used these type of things in sparring, so I was like, am I gonna stop it? No, I know my dad was able to do it, so it could be realistic. Like, move from a certain type of stance and just like being on one leg and doing like not just 1, 2, or 3 kicks, like staying on one leg, that's next level. And I saw my dad use it, so it could be a realistic move. It's not really powerful because yeah, you're standing on one leg and you just try to move from that side, and so you can like really generate power. Normally you're like from the base, 2 feet on the ground, and just try to accelerate. Push your foot off the ground and accelerate and hit your opponent. And now you're already off the ground, one leg in the air, but there's still that body weight in it, and that snap of just the lower leg that just pop, goes like that. So that's nasty as well. So, but it's different. It's different, and it's not like a full strength, full force kick. You see in a lot of fights, a lot of fight scenes, more the kung fu breakdown and the blocks and stuff like that. Because in kickboxing, when a punch comes, we never block like this or never block like this. That's more like a kung fu type of way of fighting. Kickboxing, we just like throw the punch away, or we catch it on the defense. So I think the way of Kung Fu, the way they use Kung Fu as entertaining way of using the martial art in movies is perfect, and because it looks cool and you really have something to look at and like, oh, what's happening? Oh, he's getting punched there, bop, he's blocking it there, he's getting punched, block. So that really looks entertaining and looks cool and works. Kickboxer. I just love to see this because, like, what would go through your mind seeing your opponent, the guy you're gonna fight? I believe that his brother is gonna fight Tong Po first. What you see is that they're more mind games, but yeah, if you use that, and especially like kicking like this concrete wall, and the brother of your opponent is standing there and looking at it, it's like, yo, walking up to his brother, I just saw this crazy dude kicking a concrete wall, so I don't know what you're gonna do, but you're not gonna be able to hurt him. So yeah, that's next level mind games, 100%. There are people that are so next level, they can kick trees and poles and stuff like that, but I can't do it. I'm world champion in what I'm doing, but I can't do it. If I would kick a tree or whatever, it would hurt me more than it would hurt the tree, so I wouldn't do it. What I personally use is I just kick the bag. Kick the bag. Is the bag hard? Yeah, it's pretty hard, and it's just, does it hurt? Yeah, you feel it. But I think what you gotta watch out for, if this whatever way you use to toughen up your shins, and that your shins get a lot of scar tissue, and scar tissue is like dead tissue. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't. So if scar tissue opens up, it doesn't close anymore because it's dead. There's no living cells to to fix it again. So you gotta watch out with that. 300.
Madness. This is Sparta!
I love it. This is like literally one of my favorite scenes. Yeah, I actually like watched a lot of like interviews about this movie, and Gerard actually said like, all right, we tried this scene a few times, and of course, you know the line, this is Sparta, boom, kick. Okay, then the director said like, let's just do this one more time and just go all out with it and just, yeah, do something different, you know. We tried a few things, let's do something different. All right. So he tried something else, like he went all out, and that was finally yeah, they came out to this scene. So I love it. This really gave, like, I think that extra impact to the whole scene, like the way he said it, and gave a lot of power, and then finishing off with that amazing push kick that, yeah, just is crazy effective. When we go like straight into the technique that he used, he pulled the knee up perfect, and that's what shows like the height of the front kick, because if you don't pull your knee up high enough, you're gonna probably kick somebody like between his legs or whatever. You don't want that, or else you're gonna push kick him in the body, then which would mean like his upper body would come more forward, and then his butt would go back first, and this was like straight to the chest. It was like pop, it just flies away. Awesome scene, great work. So, but you can also use the front kick to like punch the body, but then it's like a little bit more nasty. So instead of like really push kicking them, it's more like a punch, like snap, and then pulling it back, because then it looks and it feels for your opponent like a punch to the body without a glove, and that's not nice. I love to do it, but for your opponent, it's a bad thing, so use it. Enter the Dragon. Back in the day, I always used to watch the Shaolin movies, so when you hear them, the kicks, like fwap, fwap. The funny thing is, I remember I was trying to kick, like wearing like a jogging or whatever, just a nice pant, and it was just like kicking, but I don't know, never got that sound out of it. And then later I understood, like, oh, they put that sound under the kick. Okay, that makes sense. I was young, so, but I tried, but it definitely inspired me to fight even more. This is what I found really interesting, is that Bruce Lee was already so far ahead of his time. It's like, this is just like a proper MMA fight. So he combined like the whole stand-up fighting part with the Kung Fu and Shaolin, whatever, with the throws, so with the wrestling, and with the Jiu-Jitsu. This man was a huge inspiration for martial arts in general. He did it all, and like in this scene that we saw with Bruce Lee, all the different types of martial arts get combined, and like nowadays, the best way to look at it in which sport that happens is in mixed martial arts. So it's in MMA. Ong-Bak. This is actually a very cool scene, because a lot of things that Tony Jaa, techniques Tony Jaa uses in this scene could really work. Let's check this out real quick. So the opponent comes up to him, but he blocks it with that lead leg, and he holds the arms of the opponent. So that means he can't do anything. So he's safe. So he holds him back. So this, yeah, really works in a real fight as well, because I use it. Only I'm wearing gloves, so I can't hold him. I can't hold my opponent, but this works, and like it's really like Muay Thai, so it's with elbows, and just a different type of fighting, but amazing performance by Tony Jaa. is a little bit more of a street fight move, but if you're capable of landing something like that, that's a KO right there. Muay Thai has probably a little bit more of an advantage in street fighting than like commercial kickboxing, because in a street fight anything can happen. So, and you should be able to react and respond in every situation that you get in. So if you get into a clinch workout, whatever, if you're standing so close you can't punch, so you can throw an elbow, that works. So I think to be more effective, like in a street fight, Muay Thai is definitely more dangerous. Next up is the Bourne Identity. Oh, there was a nice block right there. Let's go back real quick. I just loved like how Matt just checked that kick with the opposite leg, because he could have checked it with the side that the bad guy was kicking him with, but he chose to check it with the other leg. So it's, yeah, it makes a good, especially on camera, it looked amazing. So I love to see that, because that's especially a kickboxing move. This was definitely not only a check for camera, because I used that check. I loved it. I actually used it in my last fight. Me checking the middle kick opened up my opponent's shin. So it's very effective and it works. So, and it didn't only look good, but it also works. That's important. What I love about this scene is that what you see is like it transitions from first just fighting the opponent, just combat wise, then the bad guy takes out a knife, becomes a different fight. Matt grabs a pen and tries to take the opponent out. You should always have room for improv. Matt, his technique looked good. It was decent. You know, it's like I said, it should look like a scramble, like a more of a street fight. So it doesn't need to be too clean. Decent technique. Love it. Keep it up, Matt. Bloodsport. Of course, Bloodsport. It was especially like back in the days. It still is a fun movie to watch, but the fight scene is like a little bit unrealistic. But I remember like when I was younger, that movie, I loved it. What I saw is what I tried, like taking the kicks to the body, but I tried that a few times, but not too many times, because that hurts. So in whatever fight I would get, never ask for body kicks, because they hurt. So you don't want to get them too much. So just block them and then try to hit your opponent, because getting hit with body kicks is not a nice feeling. Giving the kicks is good, but taking the kicks and trying to be like mentally and physically stronger than your opponent could be a tactic, but I don't think it's the smartest tactic to use, because if it's not in the fight, 100% the next day you're gonna wake up sore as hell. So this is like really like the underground tournament fight game. Most likely that still happens in real life, but I don't know about it. If I would have, I wouldn't have told you guys. The kickboxing and the Muay Thai difference that you see, for example, the Muay Thai they do here in the US and the Muay Thai they do in Thailand. Yeah, it's like more with the clinching and elbows, and what I do is more the commercial version. So it's a little bit different, a little bit more, for example, with the stance, a little bit more lean back. The front foot is very light on the ground, so it's easy to kick for the push kick, so to keep the distance of your opponent. The hands, they're really up, like bouncing like this. The front foot bouncing like that. So it's a little bit different than what I'm used to and what I do, but it's, yeah, fun to watch. Shang-Chi.
You look like you can fight? Come on, bro.
You okay?
I love the way he's just constantly like try to casual the whole fight moves that he's doing. He's trying to casual it off. Like, I do this all the time. Like, I'm good with this. So I loved it. I loved it. But the moves look amazing. Look really realistic. And also what I like about this scene is that when he lets the punches be missed, they get into a slow motion. So you like really see the punches like being like face level. So in some fight scenes you see somebody punch and they punch like so far over the head that is like unrealistic, but in this scene you see like everything like face level. So yeah, it works. I like it. Move in a moving vehicle like that, yeah, I think so. If it depends, like if it would like if the bus would just keep on moving the same speed in a like flowing good concrete freeway, yeah, you could be able to move like that. But if it's just like stoplights, you gotta move all everywhere, then it's gonna be really tough. But I love the way the realistic feeling you get in this scene, because all the moves are being executed very properly. Scott Pilgrim versus the world.
I'm blowing up right now!
You are blowing up. Right now.
Yeah, there's some technique, but everything's so fast, and it's like you see, it's like more video game based, so it's unrealistic. And this last kick, this is like a soccer kick, so it looks pretty bad. Looks pretty bad, right? It looks like a normal person would try to kick somebody. That's how I look at it. So if a normal person would try to kick somebody that's on their knees like that, they would soccer kick him, and that's what happened in this movie. But a nice middle kick would have looked a lot better. Best of the best.
The veteran Dehan countering. This spectacular aerial display is the trademark of classical taekwondo.
What I see in this fight scene, like, yeah, it's some things, of course, wouldn't really be possible in a real fight, but yeah, it's pretty decent. It's because it's taekwondo. A lot of kicks that they use are real. They use those in a real taekwondo fight. So yeah, I'm just like looking like really interested. Like this is, I love to see it because it's a different type of fighting and different type of scoring. But it wouldn't work for me because I feel like I'm too big to move like that, or maybe I'm just not used to moving like that. So it wouldn't work for me. But in this case, very entertaining to watch.
Again with a beautiful spinning heel kick.
Yeah.
In Taekwondo, it's like a kicking base type of sport when they try to score and make points. But does this way of fighting, is it efficient could it be efficient in kickboxing? Yeah, I think so. But I think it's the surprise. Never expect a kick to come like that surprising, like out of the blue, just throw a spinning kick like that. So it could definitely be effective in a kickboxing fight. It needs to be like set up properly. Set it up properly, and then in the right moment. So if you do it the whole time, it's not a surprise anymore. But if you like keep a strong base, do a kickboxing base, then out of the blue throw a spinning kick like that, it's night night.
This could be it. This could be it. If he doesn't get up, it's a technical knockout. The American team will win this tournament.
One of the guys has an eye patch, and she's like, okay, are you able to fight with one eye? Yep. I think I showed that my last fight. And we had a Dutch-Moroccan or maybe the other way around, Moroccan Dutch fighter that even had one eye, like literally one eye, one glass eye actually, and he was one of the best fighters we had, or you actually was just a really good fighter. And what I felt like when I had one eye, it's so strange because you don't really like see depth or something. So you see your opponent, but it's hard to feel like what is the exact distance where he's at. And I think that what makes it really difficult to fight with one eye. But if you're used to it, for me, in that fight, I had one eye. It was just like I saw my opponent with this eye, and I just kept on punching. I just kept on punching, kept on walking forward till I hit him. And when I started hitting him, I just didn't stop. So that's what worked for me. But if you get into a fight like when you always have one eye, I think, yeah, that's a way you learn to live with it. And if you teach yourself that, yeah, you definitely should be able to compete at the highest level. So thank you so much for watching these clips with me. I hope you learned something. See you next time.